Okay, everybody, welcome to Kunsthaus RoZig Blau. Connie and Eugene here. Connie's in Leipzig today.
Yes.
I'm here in Los Angeles. All right, so I will share my screen and then we can get started.
Perfect.
All right. Oops.
And I think the show starts with, yes, Norberto.
Yes, Norberto, I did speak with him. He can't make it. His main language is Spanish and mine isn't good enough to translate. But Connie and I are definitely fans of his pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually chose this as a opening piece too, because it's very telling, provocative.
I know, I really love these pieces.
Yeah.
And his other work's really great too.
Mm-hmm.
Are they oil?
I believe they are oil on canvas. Let me actually pull that up just to make sure I have that list too.
I think you can just click on the
That's right.
yeah, I think so. It should say something. No, it doesn't. Digital college. It says it. Yeah.
Yeah, digital collage.
Yeah.
Like oil though.
Yeah.
All right, our next one up, I believe we have Gabriela Dumitrescu.
We do have Gabriela, and she's here too, and she's in
Hi.
Germany.
Yes, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, Connie. I hope we get the chance.
Me too. I think we will, because I know I'm gonna be spend some time in Berlin, and I'm gonna let you know.
Oh, please do. That'd be great.
Absolutely. That would
Fantastic.
be nice.
Yeah. Great to be showing with you guys once more. Thank you so much. Really
Thank
happy
you.
about that. Blue is Blau
Oh, you
is,
did that. Danke. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. Blau is such a nice how do you say? Everything I do is blue, basically, or is about blue. And these are two digital collages, and they're from a series that I created this year, and it's called In the Absence Of. And what I was playing with or contemplating was the thought that, yeah, we've been living in the absence of many things for the past 1.5 years by now. And the question I posed myself basically was this living in the absence of, does it maybe produce something that is, so the whatever is absent sometimes feels really physical. I don't know if you know that feeling. It's like, you know, you miss it so much that you can actually physically feel it. And could that physical feeling of absence of whatever is absent actually produce something in us, create a new level, yeah, something like that. And yeah, I'm a trained dancer and choreographer. As you could see, that's me on the pictures. Those are screenshots from what I call my doinas, which are dance videos. And I also photograph, and I've collaged pieces of my photos on the screenshots. And it's a way of combining the inside world with the outside world. And the screenshots are very fragile, very transparent somehow, and everything I mount onto these images in this series is like really hard and, yeah, hard materials, which are fragmented. So yeah, there's this contrast of the inside, the very fragile inside feeling state I've been in, at least, and yeah, everything else flying around in pieces. That's how I perceive the current situation.
No, I do like the contrast too with the hard and the soft. I think that makes a pretty big statement in it.
Thanks.
The first one, the shapes look like hearts, like fragmented hearts to me.
They're actually pieces of glass.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It reminds me of that Blondie song, Heart of Glass.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, Gabriela, I don't know if you see the comments. Kendra was writing, these are exciting. And Martha Faunstein said, Gabriela, beautiful artworks.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniela. Next up, do we have Alessandro here?
Alessandro.
I don't know if we do. We usually do, but it doesn't look like today.
I don't think so either, yeah.
Both of these are Alessandro's pieces. I really like the differences, but the abstract quality to them both. And then our next up.
It's the collaboration we have.
Yeah, Caractère Collective. Is there a representative from them? They're an art collective in France. Okay, it doesn't seem we do, so we'll keep going. So there are two pieces. Next up, Suzanne. I know we have you.
That's right. Are you still there, Suzanne?
I'm there. Yes, I'm still there. Yes, absolutely. But I feel
All
my
right.
internet is it's not so good. I try to get a better one, but it's difficult because I'm in the landscape in France, a little bit in nowhere. But I can see you. But I think I better let my video off.
Yes, kind of problem.
I'm sorry, I don't really hear you right now.
You cannot hear us?
No, right now I can't hear you really, no.
Ooh, not good.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. That's really two of the art pieces I really love too in this show. I mean, I really love them all, I have to say. Suzanne, do you want to try maybe later and be?
I can try right now. These are some of my pictures. I'm doing always some kind of mixed media pictures.
Okay.
And often it's watercolor, it's mixed with ink, and I do this marking with white color. And there are always some kind of little creatures appearing on the paper. I'm not so sure if I always should do it, but I can't. They're appearing like that because it's some kind of intuitive art, I would say, and it's just what is coming out, you can say. So in the beginning, I don't have a real plan what is going to happen. Sometimes I got a plan, but it never turns out to be what my plan was. So yes.
Yeah, that's the beauty about it.
As an abstract artist, I relate to that because I always have faces that show up in my works and they're never planned, they just do. So I understand that with this too. And no matter what you do, it always does seem to end up different than you started out with.
Yeah, really. Yes. And most of my pieces, I think, are even more abstract than these two pieces because I called them a deep sea, as you see there, and they appear to be some kind of creatures coming out of the sea, and there are quite a lot of pictures, I would say, that are even more abstract than these two. It depends, but there are always these little creatures coming up about. That's why my Instagram account is called 1000 Wesen. something like 1,000 creatures. The English name of the Instagram channel, because there are always these little creatures coming up.
Oh, very much like them. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you. And
All right.
our next
Und dann-
artist is DEBARPITA from India. I
believe she was joining us.
I think so too. I see the name on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
the network is really bad here, so I have to take the video off. Sorry for that. But yeah. So I'm from India, and the two pieces I have here, both are very different. One is a photograph and another one is a digital artwork. So if I first talk about the photograph, then it is called Durga Panchami, and it's basically capturing the essence of one of the biggest festivals here in India, and especially in the Bengali community, which is Durga Puja. So one of the colors associated with the goddess is blue, and I just wanted to capture what I felt in that moment while in that pandal. The pandals are actually the temporary structure where the idols are kept during the time of celebration. They are a form of art in themselves. They are incredible work, and here also most of the credit should go to the decorators and the artists who created it, and I just happened to capture a moment here. So the feeling was that whenever there is darkness there, whenever we feel overwhelmed by that, when we look at that calming presence, when we look at that softness of a familiar figure, when we look at that love of a mother, even the darkest of places can be illuminated by it and can turn into something magical and gentle. So that magic, that serenity I wanted to capture in that picture. So that was the attempt here. And the digital art beside it, it's called Feeling Blues. So this, as the name suggests, this one is basically about feeling blues. Sometimes without any reasons, without any reason or rhyme, we just feel this visceral sadness in ourselves. It it is it's a very soft kind of feeling, but at the same time, it's also very bold and vicious that just grabs us and paints our whole world in 1,000 shades of blue. And in this case also, it just does that to the girl, and it puts us in our own bubble, in our own world, and encapsulates us. And many strange things, many interesting things can be happening to us, can be happening around us, but the world just seems to pass us by because we are so wrapped in our own sadness, in our own grief, in our own little bubble that we just fail to see everything that just might be happening right over our heads. So that was the thought behind this one. So yeah, these two are my works here. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to showcase them alongside all of these artists. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. Really loved everyone's work here, and I hope you like it.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us too, because DEBARPITA's in India, so it's like, what, 1 a.m. there?
Yeah, almost close to 2 a.m. actually now.
Yeah.
I'm
No, it's
actually
very
sleepy.
lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next is Mark John O'Rourke, who's usually with us from Ireland, but I don't think I see him here today. Do you?
I don't think so either, but we have the next one here. Matthew?
And next, yes, Matt.
Hi, thanks for featuring this. So this is actually based on a painting I started, I think 5 years ago, but I wasn't happy with it, so I left it there, and I redid it last year, I believe. So it's one of the most recent ones, and I was trying to translate feeling of escapism into a painting, a sense of daydreaming, and picture your head literally in the clouds. It's based on a photo of me. It's an oil painting also. Yeah, it's pretty much this. Just a sense of being here, but not here with your thoughts, like your thoughts being somewhere else, being absent-minded.
One thing Matt showed with us before as well, and not this many times, but one thing about really your work I love, first of all, I know it's you.
Mm-hmm.
About the artwork in general, but also this picture, I know it's you. And it's just really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you, Matt. Anyone else? All right. Und the next, Emily Marbach, do we have you?
Emily,
Yes.
is you?
Hello,
Yes.
I'm here. And this is a collage I did. It came about because I'm also a printmaker, and I printed the picture of the bird. It was a lino cut, and it was sitting 2/3 of the way up this paper. And so it was just sort of calling out to have additions, different things to add to it. And often I will take a print that I've made and collage a little frame, just around it. But that wasn't quite enough for me. And so then I found this bathtub, but it was only kind of half a bath. So I found this piece of paper. I have lots of I used to live in Japan a long time ago, and I have this collection of really pretty cards from a shop in Tokyo in Ginza, and with handmade decorations on them. And so I made the rest of the bath, and with the blue bit, and put them together. And I'm American, but I've been living in England for 28 years. And my father-in-law is a very careful and I don't know, he's the sort of person who really make sure that safety is his top priority. And so he has a little song called "You Must Never, Never Stand Up in the Bath." And it's quite a good thing so that nobody slips and falls and, cracks their head on a cast iron bath. And so I thought about him, and that's why I wrote the lyrics to "You Must Never, Never Stand Up in the Bath," which I will not sing right now. But obviously I needed some characters in this alongside. And so, yeah, so the bird is the picture. The children are in the bath. There's a tiny little bit of the inside of some envelope behind them, which I've discovered is a great bit of blue. If you ever need any blue in your collaging, then open up an envelope and you probably find some. And then the flower, I just sort of felt it matched the beak of the bird so well. So I kind of, blue and orange are complementary colors. So I wanted to emphasize that. And there we are.
Yeah, so we cannot get you to sing the song, you said?
The thing is that I'm a member of choirs, but you know, COVID, we've canceled the choirs the whole year, so I'm just not sure I can.
Go ahead.
It's very lovely, and I really like that you recycle your own art. I just love that. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for being here, Emily. All right, and next one we have up is Ariel.
That's right.
Yes, thank you so much, Connie and Eugene, for this wonderful opportunity. Since I was a child, I fell in love with nature. Nature is my love. It's my life. You can when you see a picture of mine, you can see how deep I go into my soul. And this painting, it's an oil picture. It's part of a collection called Colors of the Soul. I always relate water with life. Without water, we couldn't be here. And I have a theory. My theory says we are originally from Mars, and our last civilization living there, they finished with water. The only way to escape was coming to planet Earth. And we are still doing the same as they did in Mars. We are killing our planet slowly, but fast enough, because so many species are dying right now.
What I like too about this piece is the movement that you have in it. And just from the
Yes.
very great piece, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, we have our next person, which is Thomas, who's also in Germany, but I don't think he's here with us. Okay. Oh, we have kind of Thomas. All right. Next is Asia NOWICKI. Do we have Asia here? Okay, I don't think we do. These are her gold pieces.
It is really sad because there's like, I mean, I love all these pieces, but I had so many questions about those.
I know. Good little ones.
Little, yeah.
All right, and then Ségolène. Do we have Ségolène on? Hanson? 9?
No. Giovanni.
Giovanni Greco. He's in Italy. I don't think I saw Giovanni though.
I didn't either. I don't think so either.
I know that's the only thing I get sad when we don't have him show up, because I want to know the stories behind the pieces.
Absolutely. Next one is Sean.
Sean Yang. Oh, where did it go? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's, there we go.
It's sometimes a little tricky.
Yes. Here, I know he just did a show at Tag Gallery too. I'll have to post the images later. There were some, this was one of the pieces that was there. Oh, okay, so that was just Sean's, but one of the pieces in his exhibition was this one, but there were some other great ones there too. I really liked. All right, our next person up,
Nico. I don't think Nico is here though.
Nico is either. She's one of our German artists that we've shown before. This one kind of gives me nightmares because it reminds me of my Deutsch Hausaufgaben, my German homework.
That's the first thing you said when we got this, and we said we have to have this in there because Eugene is taking German right now, and he sends me every Monday and Wednesday like a head that's exploding after like an hour,
Especially
which I can totally understand. I don't even, such a hard language.
awesome, right?
Okay,
All right, our next one.
next is Annette. Did we Annette?
Like this one, it reminds me of a Cocteau Twins album cover.
Oh, that's actually a great thing. I didn't even think of this.
All right, next. one.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, Karen. We have Karen on, don't we?
I think we do.
Yep, I'm here.
Yay!
Hey, so this is Sky Goddess. The waves are the Mediterranean from Tel Aviv. And I just love the curl on the wave and did the bilateral symmetry. This was actually one of the very first pieces I did where I moved out of a round kaleidoscopic symmetry, and the clouds have been manipulated in a modular graphic synthesizer program to give distortion so that we get kind of curving and bulging areas of that. And I just create a whole bunch until I find one that just really sings to me. And I love the real feminine aspect of this. And then I laid over a bit of rainbow from another photograph. And
It's amazing. Thank you for saying this with the feminine aspect, because I was like thinking about that too. And I was like, And it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Like Eugene and me were talking about, I was like, that's, no, it's very beautiful. And it's, I love your other artwork too, that I love the colors you use, besides, the symmetry you're doing. And, but this thought was like different too. And, yeah, we just loved it. And
I agree. This is delightful, and it's change of pace from the usual design that you have. So.
I've actually, this piece is actually
older.
It's quite a bit older, yeah.
Oh.
But I've kind of gone back into doing a bilateral symmetry on my reflections, and now I'm trying to sort of kind of move out of that even and have symmetrical aspects, but some that are less symmetrical. And I'll have some new work like that at my show at TAG in July. So.
Oh, wonderful.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is delightful.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Yeah, I was so delighted with the success on this piece that I really did. I did a whole series of 5 pieces of manipulated clouds with different kinds of symmetry. But this one holds a real special place for me because it was sort of the first one where I broke out of a form that I'd been using pretty exclusively for a while.
The beautiful thing with this piece is too, I think the longer you look at it, you see, the more you see in it, and different things each time you look at it as well, I think.
Is there more to the symbol in the middle above the rise?
Read into it what you will.
Yes.
I choose the pieces of my artwork based on my personal aesthetic and what I think balances with the rest of the piece. I find that the work I do is just a lot of experimentation and then curation of putting these different pieces together so they create a cohesive composition. And I sort of think about, it's like, oh, well, that looks like a vagina, and that might be fun to keep in there.
It was the first thing Eugene and me said, like, that's a vagina, let's put it in there.
So yeah,
But
actually,
also, you know what, Karen, it's also like when I look at this, it wants me to make, and I don't do drugs, but I think I should do it and then look at this again because it's gonna be amazing, I think.
yeah, but I see a flame, I see wings,
I see angels.
Angels. When I work with
Beautiful.
clouds, I'm always seeing angels. That's just like when I work with flowers, I'm always seeing insects. Um, they're just sort of things that live inside of other things.
That's the beauty of artwork. If everybody sees something else, that's all you want.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
When I like
Beautiful.
that, a lot of your pieces have a lot of tension in them and action, but this one has more of a meditative, very tranquil feel to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was kind of part of it too, was to sort of tone down and keep it calmer. The kaleidoscopic work can be very energetic.
Which
So,
I like that too, but I like the contrast here.
thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
All right, our next we have up,
John.
I think he's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful. Hi, John.
Hi, thank you, Connie, and thank you, Eugene, for including my work in the exhibit. So this painting was inspired by a sentence in this book titled Space and Eternal Life.
Mm.
And Chandra Wickramasena, astronomer, implies that cosmic or interstellar dust is living, which to me suggests that life is eternal. So on this, I wanted to make an abstract painting of interstellar clouds using my favorite color, blue. And I used 3 blues, including cobalt, ultramarine, and Prussian blue, and I added a little white and purple as well. And I began the painting with washes of acrylic, and then I built up upon them.
Very beautiful.
No, I believe too, this is John's first time joining us, so thank you. We're glad to have
Thank you, John, and I hope you submit. Yeah, we have a monthly show actually going on, and I really love your piece, and especially with the blue. I talked with Eugene about this too. It just looks so beautiful on the red background too, what we created with the gallery. It just comes out really nicely, and it's just, for me, it's like one of these pieces. When I look at this, I feel like like at peace, like seriously at peace. It just calms me. It's very, very beautiful. Thank you.
Great,
What
thank you.
size is it? Approximately?
I don't have the size. Yeah. Oh, there it is. 20 inches by 16 inches.
Yes.
Oh, and that may be one small thing to note too. When we put together
Yes.
the gallery, you may notice that it may say the different things here. We manipulate the pieces so they look good in the gallery. So if your dimensions might look off, always look in the info, and we will always have the correct dimensions
Down there. Yeah, when you can see like 20 by 16, this is the real dimensions. And when we put up there 40 by 50. It's just, if we put up the original one, it would be too small actually to look at it in the virtual gallery. That's all we do it. And some of them are in centimeters with our artists from Germany or in Europe in general. And we know this too. So it will always show up in the dimensions, but we have to, just that it looks nice, you know, that it's bigger. We want it big. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Very nice.
All right, our next one up, Katie McGuire, who's shown with us before. It's been a while. Is she here today? Let's see. No, I don't believe so. All right, our next one, I believe Larry Wolf.
Hello, and thank you. If you can zoom in on probably the lower fourth,
Yeah,
just with an idea of the texture. This is acrylic pushed through the back of a silk screen. And because of that, can you get even closer, zoom or more?
I think we can zoom in more than that.
That's it, babe. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So you can see because of the technique, it creates all kinds of different textures and shapes, and also using different textures, pushing it through, and mediums. It also creates all kinds of different textures. Because of that, you don't necessarily, I don't necessarily know how it's going to end up, because when you're pushing from the back, it's not always easy to determine what's going to come out the other side. I usually paint in acrylics on untreated canvas. But this is basically something new that I've been moving into. And I enjoy it, one, because it's really fun. And two, because I really haven't seen a lot, if any, one else using this kind of technique. So it's really important to me to be special. That was a joke. And that is the story.
Yeah, sorry, in between I lost my internet connection. I didn't hear all the stuff. But Larry, I love your work. I just want to let you know. I love the colors. I love the feel it gives me when I look at it.
Did you hear the part about pushing it through the back of a silk screen?
I did not.
Okay, so this is paint.
Okay to read it?
Sorry?
I'm listening. I'm just trying. Yeah.
This is paint that gets pushed through the back of a silk screen. And it doesn't show up here, but because it's a silk screen, it's already in a frame. And that gives it a whole nother dimension, because it has that frame sort of built in. And what I had said about pushing through from the back was it was very difficult to necessarily determine what's going to come out the other end.
Well, it's like, I mean, I saw the process of silk printing, like on t-shirts and stuff. Is this like a similar thing?
It's a silk screen like those it's the same silk screen that are used for t-shirts and imprints. But this is a clean, unused silk screen. And again, the paint's pushed through the back.
I think the unpredictability of it makes it a little bit more exciting and fun to work with, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
All right, our next person up, ADEOLA.
Yes, thank you, Connie and Eugene, for having me in the show. The pieces I have in, this is called Enchanted Landscape. And it was done through a period that I was working on a series of landscape using a lot of places that we visited as inspiration behind the piece. And as I was working on the piece and layering, this is acrylic on canvas, and layering that, they start to evolve, and I started to get a feel of being in an enchanted forest. And I continued to add more layers to it, and it kind of evolved. But the inspiration it's from having to visit the different landscape in US that inspires the piece to do. And this is the first one was Enchanted Landscape, and the other one was part of that series that I did. So that was the inspiration behind it. I started out, and I was really pulling things from our travels at that time, and there were little pieces of things that kind of remind me of the space. I use red and kind of orange tone in there because that reminded me of being in Sedona. I think this series evolved after several visits to Sedona and also to Utah. So we did a lot of kind of like Pacific Northwest travel at the time. And when I came back, so it was a combination of bringing the ocean and a little bit of elements of bringing in the inland into together. It's what's behind the piece.
Really,
thank you, Kendra.
I have to say, sorry, you guys go.
And thank you, Martha. I see some things popping up. Thank you, guys.
No, I really like these pieces, and the blue really seems to be the one color that ties the whole thing together, which I like about it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I use a lot of blue in my color palette, and I actually did not notice it until one time we were doing a studio visit on Zoom, and people started commenting, "Oh, why did you pick this color? Why?" And I had to look like, oh, I guess a lot of the pieces have a good amount of blues in them, and so I think it has to do with the being a calming color, and also it's calming and relaxing, and it makes you happy. It has those effects together, combined with a little bit of the yellow and the olive feel to it. I think it's a combination of some of the things I'm always strive for in my painting. My mantra is to stay joyful, and so I guess I try to have that come across on my work in a lot of my pieces.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This top one also reminds me of one of my favorite symbolist painters, Miro. He's more of a surrealist, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big compliment.
Yes.
Thank you, ADEOLA.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really most of your people.
Oh, Connie, you're breaking up.
Yeah.
I think we just lost her. Well, I'm sure she'll be back on. It's Leipzig's though, so. All right, our next person that we have, Kendra.
Hi, everyone. It looks like Connie's back. Connie, I didn't want to, if you wanted to say something about the last painting.
Oh, yes, I just wanted to say like how much I love Ariola's pieces, like in general, like everything, what she does. And she does so many different things. It's just really amazing. My internet is really unstable too, so I'm sorry if I'm going out and in, but I'm here.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Kendra.
Hi, Eugene. I just want to say thank you for including me in the show. It's really an exciting group, and I explored the virtual gallery the other day, and it was really exciting. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. And yeah, this is my piece. It is in in the physical world here, it is 36 by 48 acrylic on canvas. It's called The Abyss, and it is part of a larger body of work that is really fascinated with landscape, and also this idea that highlighting and touching on the sense of wonder of place can help people feel empathy towards nature, and then eventually have a sense of responsibility to protect natural places. So that's the larger body of work. This specific piece is a cave, inspired by a cave in New Zealand, and it's an exploration of light, but this specific cave has these glowing worms in it that when you look up, it kind of like your mind knows that it's a worm, but your heart thinks that it's the universe, the stars. And so I love that little moment where our minds kind of trick us. And also like the fact that you're underground, 20 feet underground, but you're also reminded of the larger universe too. So there's that, I like that duality too. And the only other thing I wanted to say about this piece, it's kind of about exploration too, and the loneliness of exploration. So, but thank you again for letting me be a part of this.
No, and I've seen those.
I really love, sorry, Eugene, you go.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I've seen actually pictures of those caves in New Zealand, and it's absolutely breathtaking. I can't imagine what it's like to actually experience that in person.
I highly recommend it. It was a long time ago, but it was really cool. Sorry,
I love
Connie.
what you said about the responsibility. If you do these things, see the nature, and you hope that people are feeling kind of responsible towards nature, you know, and to take certain actions or whatever. I just love that. Thank you. That's so important that, you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's a gorgeous piece. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
don't know if you look at Giger's paintings, but the colors and the forms remind me of that.
It kind of broke up there. Do you mind typing it in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Giger.
Oh, Giger. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't for a while, but yeah, the forms. I
Yeah.
can see it.
Yes,
But also just how they're all kind of coming together, and I don't know. They're coming from the sides, and it's the way that the energy's going, but also the color palette.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I try to go really colorful, and then I often just go back to black and white or blue. I don't know.
Thank you, Kendra.
Very nice. Love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
All right, Larry, we have you
Hey.
up.
How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for the inclusion. Yeah, you know, I'm very interested in the idea of sensation and respect to language. And I love animals. And I went through a series of like picking out particular animals that the face is directly confronting the viewer, eye to eye, you know, in a sense of identity. And for Blue, it ties into the idea of sensation. And there's a great book by Giles Lewis called I don't know if you can see this, Logic of Sensation. And he talks about, can you hear me? I think I'm cut off.
We can hear you.
Okay. He talks about becoming the animal, and based on that, and he's also got just one complete book based on becoming the animal. And it talks about the language of sensation in the sense of cultural language, which is words, pictures, and then sensation is the idea of feeling, touch, smell, things like that. And it also makes reference to the Blue Rider group, which was a product of the spirituality and painting with Kandinsky, and especially Franz Bach, and his adaptation to animal and his own projection onto the animal, which is the idea of color. So the combination of me picking this particular baboon with the direct eye contact would be, and the idea of sensation of color is the projection of color onto the baboon, bringing that idea of the language of the color, which is a very austere color. It's austere blue. So there's a level of contempt with him looking directly back at me and then being reinforced with that particular austere type of blue. Yeah. So there are other people that work with animals as well. I've curated a couple shows called Becoming the Animal in terms of people that exercise the motif of the animal.
You're not supposed to look at certain monkeys in the eyes though, right?
Especially a baboon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's probably, I took this off the Google, and it was a direct contact, eye to eye with the photographer, and it's very fierce. The photographs even more.
Why did you choose to make it that looks like a human eye? Like you.
Yeah, actually the left eye is a human eye that's a juxtaposition with the baboon. It came from the eye of I can't think of the person now, but back in the day when I first moved here from Tubac, it was really hard painting because it's so dry and paint came out chalky. So a lot of stuff was overworked. I kind of cannibalized and cut out certain things and added certain things. So it's a combination. And I guess the eye too, going to make an argument of it along with the color.
For a second, I thought it was Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
Well, in addition to the shades of blue that you use in here, I really like the texture of the baboon.
Yeah, I think that the baboons are just amazing, fierce creatures. They really are, and here in Tubac, I'm painting a lot of jackrabbits, which were interesting, almost in line with the phenomenon of the octopus. Is such a enigma in some ways. And roadrunners are very wild too here in Tubac. But yeah, but this is like maybe the fourth baboon I've painted.
Excellent. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
All right, our next up that we have is Marta Feinstein. I believe we have Marta, yeah? Oh wait, Marta, I don't think we can hear you.
Can you hear now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
Yes.
Yes, internet things. Hi, Connie and Eugene, thank you. Thank you for including me in Blau. I was so excited when I saw this was the theme because I love blue, and it's one of my favorite colors to work with. The virtual exhibit, I looked at it as well, wonderful artworks, and you both did a wonderful job curating this the way, even when you like move through, you could see the edges of the frame, gives it a little dimension. So great job on the virtual. So my photos use botanical elements and natural processes to represent different states of being within the mind and the body. And a lot of my works are about transformation, transcendence, ephemerality of the body, of life, but also the impermanence and resilience that we have. So I sometimes refer to my images, my botanical and abstract images, as my escape images, for me to go in a different direction, kind of to look at them and focus on other things other than struggles in life and challenges. And when I work with natural materials, things are very small that I photograph. These are all photographs. And I use whatever I have in the apartment to create my little scenes that I set up, and everything's very small, very tiny that I create.
On the flower, did you use a macro lens on it?
Yeah, on some of them, yes. Yeah, so it's small. So and also through photographs, being able to zoom in. Nature is amazing. It's resilient. It's powerful, symbolic, and through photography, we can notice something that we may not normally see by just looking with the naked eye. So yeah, just excited to have blue and be able to present vibrant colors. I like working with colors. A lot of my botanical works have color, and then I'm also contrasting it with more muted tones. I started doing more representational, and now I'm getting more into abstract. So this piece, Galaxies, is one of my series, one of the pieces in my Galaxy series, and just to create my own worlds, my own universe, my own environment that hopefully other people can enjoy and get lost in as well.
Oh, and I love the vibrancy of these pieces too. Well, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you.
Right, our next person we have up, Monica.
I am here. Thank you. Thank you to Connie and Eugene for including me in this. Blue is also my favorite color. I actually, I could start with either one. They have nothing to do with each other. This one was, it's called A Child's Poem, because when I was in elementary school, I won an honorable mention in a district-wide contest for poetry. And it was a very special event. My mom and I got all dressed up. We went to the Bonaventure downtown, and there was my poem. And this is as much as I remember of this poem, are the words, I don't know if you could see, I do too know what is blue, my hats, my pants, and my tennis shoe, a bird on the wing, and the songs the birds sing can be blue too. And there was more to it. But I was very little, and now I am not very little, so that is all I can remember. I found a Bonaventure matches that's on there for that, and just the whole, this connected a lot from when I was little, reinforcing my my freedom to be creative in storytelling and writing and in art, and so this is a very sentimental piece, remembering that experience with that poem and celebrating it with my mom, who's always been encouraging me my whole life. So that's what this one is about. And then this one, I did a series where I chose a color to kind of do a wash in a particular color, and this was my blue one, and it was at the very beginning of the pandemic when I was feeling very isolated and I had a hard time doing art for a while. So this one is called Create Your Own Sanctuary, and I was home, as everyone was, and what could I do to make where I live my sanctuary, and my peaceful place. And so There's images and pieces. I use a lot of found objects in my art, reminiscent of things throughout my whole life, reminiscent of childhood, of as my mom says, olden timey days, and just things that I surround myself with to feel safe and comfortable in my own sanctuary. And I often, as you see in both these pieces, use string to connect different parts of a collage, which multi-layered for me, why I use a string to kind of the connections between people, the connections in our memories, which are not linear, and in my opinion, and connections between different objects, connections between people. I can go on, but you get the idea. I love, I always feel that when I have finished a piece, the last thing I do is I weave it together with string to make those connections. That's about it.
No, I love that idea behind it with the string.
Thank you.
Me too.
That's a really powerful blue you picked for the top one.
Thank you. It represents how strong and powerful I felt that night of being celebrated for this little poem I wrote in, like, I don't know, 4th grade or something.
Wow. What's the size of it?
This one is, I think, 14, is it 12 by 16?
Okay.
Thank you. And the other one's 24 by 24.
Nice. Is that a plate on the top?
It is a, it came from like a tea set. So it is,
okay.
so, but like a child's tea set. So it's a mini plate. And then the round things next to it, the 3 round things, yeah, those are layers of washers and grommets that came from jeans to give it depth, and then I painted it. So I'm always reusing, recycling things that I find.
I like how precious it feels.
Thank you. I am so
Yeah.
happy that that came across, because that is how I feel about it.
Yeah. Feels very personal. So I think not enough artists make work like that, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my stuff is very personal.
That's a good thing.
You will find nothing less than my life and my feelings poured out all over everything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you and apologize. I need to run, but it has been very cool, and I thank you.
No, absolutely.
Anybody else live in West LA? No. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, guys.
All right, our next one up, Ed.
Hello, everybody. For those who may not be familiar, the few of you, my work is lately, last several years, has been derived from satellite images of the atomic testing, underground atomic testing sites, and then it's processed and manipulated on the computer. Generally, these 2 pieces in this show are kind of unusual because blue is not a common color the computer comes up with on these things. That would either be deep shade or things of that nature. Sometimes there's water in the subsistence craters. So it was kind of interesting that I could find a couple pieces with a lot of blue. The one you're looking at now is more recent than the other one. It was just in a show at TAG also. This one is unusual in the sense that it's one piece, but it sort of operates visually as a diptych, which is something I hadn't actually thought of when I was doing it. I just wanted a ghost image repeated across a collage element, which is medication information, my own medication information. And so I was able to tie,
such a pleasant subject matter, dying by atomic death with various physical ailments, personal physical ailments. But it worked out visually quite well. They're both works on paper. The first piece, the frame is actually included as part of the piece, the blue frame. The other one is just a piece on paper. But as I say, they're all taken from photographs from atomic testing sites that you can get easily online. So other than that, I just like the patterning, and I like the interplay between something decorative derived from something into the world. I like that kind of combination. So that's about it. It's just more exploration of the same subject matter.
Oh, thank you, Ed. All right. Our next up, Pascaline. Do we have Pascaline on?
Yes, thank you. So this piece is about metamorphosis, and it was made in 2019, and this one was done during the election to celebrate the victory. The Samothrace victory is a sculpture you can see at the Louvre, and I combined it with the Statue of Liberty from New York, which was designed by a French sculptor. So it's about the world happiness of switching our president in the States, and how it was important for everyone. I mean, I'm speaking from one side, of course, but it had a huge impact because, as you all know of it, we were all following the news, and it was taking forever to know the results. And then the women had been a little bit discredited during the president time. So it was big news, especially to have Kamala Harris as a vice president. So it's a joyful piece about victory. Samothrace was a marine victory represented by the Greek, and the Statue of Liberty represents the liberty, freedom in the world. That was the initial meaning of the sculpture. And what I do is do manipulation of my pictures, and then I add graphic lines to create a different dimension. This one was done in 2019, and it's a butterfly metamorphosis. So I thought, with retrospect from our COVID experience, we all had to change our lives. So this piece has a different meaning now, and I think we all had to be kind of adjusting very quickly of what would be our future, what we could do now, and so on. So it's extremely dynamic visually. Both, if they were being sold, they'd be printed on metal. So if you have any questions, and thank you for including my two pieces in the show. I love the way you chose the red background, and it works really well for everybody. And all the pieces you have selected, they are wonderful and very, very different. So it's very interesting to navigate and see the curation.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, and one of the things too is we actually get to choose different rooms, so to speak, or if we have a lot of people, we'll combine two of them, and then you get to choose different colors of walls. But I do like how the kind of like a brick red sort of really brings out all the blue pieces. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And this is Pascaline's first time with us, I believe.
Yes, I was very intrigued by your posts and your ads about the show. So, and I like, as everyone here, I like blue. I like to experience a lot with colors in painting or digital art. So I thought it was really a nice subject.
I agree. Thank you, Pascaline.
Is she, I have a question, Pascaline. Is she taking a selfie of herself? Is Statue of Liberty is taking a selfie of herself?
No, no, no. Those are the pictures of the Statue of the Liberty and of the Victory of Samothrace. I'm not in the picture.
No, no, no. It seems to me like she's doing this and taking a picture of herself.
Oh, yeah. No, I took a picture from the bottom of the Samothrace because it's on the top.
Okay, okay. It's a book or something she's holding.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was taking a selfie like that. That would be very cool.
Oh, no, no. It's the real thing when she holds a book.
Okay. Lovely, lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next up we have is Sonali. Do we have Sonali with us today?
You don't, but I can talk that I love crows.
I do like these two different pieces. All right, after we have Daniela. Is Daniela here? Okay. How about Yochi? I hope I pronounced that right. Wir haben, nein? All right. Bruce Sanders is our next one up. Do we have Bruce here? Does it look like we do? All right, our next.
I know that's a self-portrait though, I will say that.
What's that?
I know Bruce well, and I know that is a self-portrait.
Ah.
Even though honestly, it doesn't really look like him. It's more of a introspective painting about himself.
Ah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Wilder Oakley. Do we have him here? All right. Our next one up. Kathy Chow Lin. Do we have Kathy with us?
It's a nice one.
Yeah, it's very strong work, even though two, three of them before also.
Okay, David, we have you up next.
Yes. So the one on the left is I did that mainly with spray paint, and there's some mixed media on it. I used some wax. And that portrait is called Scrambled. It's more of a self-portrait, and that also kind of deals with the inner child. And I was going through a lot at the time. I was within the first few years out of college, and I felt like I didn't really know who I was anymore. So I kind of have this innocent look, but the surroundings are being integrated in a way that almost makes him feel overwhelmed. The one on the right, that was made for my second solo exhibition, which was at TAG last year. And it was a response to some of the discrimination against Asians. And it's original. I don't know what that says on there. That just says super. Okay, so that just says SSJ. I don't know if anybody here likes or knows about Japanese animation, but there's this show called Dragon Ball Z, where when they've reached a certain level, well, first of all, there's a Monkey King, and it's based on that show. And as the main character goes through his life, he realizes that he's actually an alien on planet Earth. And once he reaches a certain level spiritually and physically, he's able to transform and his hair shoots up and it turns blonde. So this is the original title of this was called He Appears to Be a Super Saiyan, which is what SSJ stands for. And yeah, it's more of really dealing with people finding their own style, and once they're connected with themselves, that they really do have a lot of self-empowerment. So I was trying to empower that community with my art at that time as one of my COVID responses. So yeah.
I love hearing what's behind these. It just gives it so much meaning, and it just changes how I look at it. It just like adds more depth in a lens to seeing it. So thank you for sharing all that.
Thanks. Yeah, I do think every single one of my pieces is pretty personal, and I generally try to, I mean, I make a lot of art, but I try to not make any art that doesn't have meaning. So usually there's at least some level of self-reflection and intention in what I create.
Also, of all the years that both my kids watched Dragon Ball Z, I'm very appreciative of your explanation. So now I understand it more.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for being with us, David.
Of course.
And next up is Eric Sanders. I thought we had Eric on here. Okay. Doesn't seem like we do, so we'll go to our next one. We have Olive Del Beaumont. Do we have Olive? Okay. Oh, sorry. I live in downtown Los Angeles, so. Okay, was that our last one? Okay, well, it looks like we got through everybody. Sorry that Connie, actually, her connection is really bad. She had an outage there in Leipzig. But I want to thank everybody for attending with us today. And we do have, let's see here. We do have another exhibition coming up, which is FOIA or Fire. So I encourage you all to apply to that too. And if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I do have a link to that in my link tree, but I will also be resharing it again. So thank you everyone for attending. I'm going to stop the recording now.